Tubers, family and friends, welcome back to the channel. This is Edward. At the north property today with my brush cutter and my four-wheeler, and this is a real beautiful piece of property that my lovely Filipina wife and I picked up for a real good deal on a distress sale. 5 hectares for 550,000 pesos, and as you can see, there's our fence line, and I put in a gate here, and we have a big bunch of land here with this stream that runs through it. And I've been working this property for a while, off and on, between my foot injury. And my foot's healed up pretty darn good now. It's only half a foot, but I can get around, pretty much do anything I want, even about the same as when I had my full foot. But I've only been out here once with the brush cutter and cleared kind of this area here. It's because it's all had been grown up just like this whole hillside. So I'm gonna hit the rest of this flat spot here today. And ooh, I saw some kind of big bird back there. I don't know if you guys saw it in the shadow there, but this is way back in the jungle, guys. Yes, there's one road that goes by my house, about half kilometer. You can hear the motorcycles go by sometimes here, but that's our coconut steaming shack. And here's a part of our coconut plantation here. Every 4 to 6 months we harvest coconuts depending on the season and how well they're growing and everything. So I got one cow on the property here. She's way up here in the thick stuff. I move her feed her some grain and move her every morning. And I got to show you guys one thing. Maybe I showed you this before, but I got 2 streams. Actually, there's 3. This way here is west. It's like early in the afternoon right now. And so on the west side of my property, I got this stream. And then on the south side of the property over here, there's another stream. And then on the north side of the property, in that real thick stuff, there's another stream. And the north and the south streams come from way up in the mountain, and then comes down to this lower stream that runs to the west. But as you can see, look at how much this is growing over. And I had this down to bare grass here last November, and now it's July the next year. Really, it's not that bad, but a lot of these ferns that have fallen from the coconut trees, I've restacked and repiled in these piles, and I'll be burning those as soon as we get, like 3 dry days together. We've only had 2 dry days since the typhoon went through. But this hill right here is an overburden hill from mining tailings. Same thing with this big huge hill right here. These are mining tailings from I'll show you guys in a minute, and I showed you on one other video. See this long pole right here? I don't know if you can see it, but I just stood it up beside me here, and I'll follow it all the way up. I mean, this thing is like, I don't know if you can see there, so it's like 15 feet high. And I've stuck that pole down this mining shaft. You got to be careful right here, because they put like some bars over it here, but there's so much overgrowth around here, it's hard to know where you're stepping. Here, as you can see, it's really grows over quick. It's real dangerous for someone that doesn't know this is here. But as you can see down in there, there's some pipe sticking up there, some metal pipe that's all rusted out. There's two pieces there, and that was a ladder going down. And I stuck that pole down in here 15 feet, and it's pure water. 15 feet down. And I know because of how big this hill is here and here of overburden, and there's a couple hills of overburden even on the other side of this stream here. It makes me think that there's another mine shaft over there somewhere, and but that's not my property. On the other side, see my fence line? And there's where the overburden piles are. I think there's actually another mine shaft somewhere over there, unless they've buried that. I don't know. But see, here's the stream that goes up the mountain on the south side of the property. And it goes down here, and then it meets up right there with the stream that goes along the west side of the property, right? So they picked this spot right on the confluence of these two streams to do this test hole. And by the size of the overburden here, this thing goes down at a minimum, I think, 30 to 40 feet. So one of my projects is, and I said it in the last video, and that was last year, that I want to get a pump here, one that I can run off of a gasoline motor, and get all the water out of this test hole and see how far down it really goes. And then obviously they dug this test hole here for a reason, and I've done a lot of research of this area of Mindanao, and there's a place not too far away from here, probably 30 kilometers, that they call the gold fields. And there was an actual mining company mining those gold fields, and they had surface gold and gold that they had dug test holes, and some even holes that they found a couple smaller veins between 50 and 100 feet down. So what they were doing is using cyanide and mercury to process the gold tailings, right? And pretty soon the villagers started getting sick. It was all washing down into the ocean bay, and it started killing so much stuff that finally the government shut them down. But they operated like that for I think around 10 years. And like I say, it's not very far from here. So people know that this area has gold. And I'm bound and determined, once I get a grub stake, I have Social Security starting here in about 90 days. And then I can get a grub stake and start trying to figure out, and this is my land here, so no problem, just doing little tests here and there, right? But you got to register and license and all kinds of crap if you find gold. This is that stream that keeps going up the mountain here. It's real beautiful. There's fish in here even. I always see fish in here. So it's some thick ass jungle right here, guys. So anyways, yeah, but you gotta jump through all kinds of bureaucratic hoops if you're gonna actually have a producing mine, which I've done a little bit of research on it, and obviously it has to be in the name of my wife because she's a Filipino, I'm not. Even though we own this land jointly, everything is in her name, right? Other than my name as a foreigner is on the deed. of sale and the land title. The only way that's valid is in partnership, of joint ownership with my wife. But when it comes to mineral extraction or anything like that, it would have to be in the name of my wife, unless I got a permanent residency here, like which I don't have, a 13A or SSRV. Then I can actually have businesses here. But I don't know if I'm going to do that. SSRV is the way I would like to go, because then I can leave the country anytime I want and it's less restriction. But a 13A, you're restricted a little bit more, because it's all dependent on your Filipina. But for now, I just love it out here. Closer you are to nature, the better off you are. I mean, God is in everything here, right? He is in everything. The grass, the trees, the stream, all the animals here. He's in everything. And the closer you are to it, the better. And as you can see here, I made a little makeshift wooden cross. And that's one of the crosses I made along with these other two when I had that Aswang attack here last, I think it was either January. I think it was actually in January, but it could have been in December. I'd have to look back at my video. So one of my goats was slaughtered. I shouldn't say slaughtered, because it lay here and only the internal organs are gone, right? And if you've seen photos from eyewitness accounts, and pictures drawn of the Aswang, they have teeth like needles, very super sharp teeth, and an elongated snout like a wolf or a dog or something. But their teeth are like needle teeth, and that's exactly the kind of puncture wounds I saw in the legs, the neck, and the head of my 3 dead goats, right? And the only damage on the outside of the carcasses was the butthole, where it was ripped out, and their long tongue, which is sometimes up to 3 or 4 feet long, of this Aswangs, they put their mouth up against the butthole, or if they're trying to attack a human. That's why there's many folklores about how pregnant women, right? They like to attack women, put them in a trance, eat their fetus from inside their womb. That's what these evil beings do. Just like they did to my goats. I was an eyewitness to what they did after the attack. I never saw the Aswang, but I saw all the evidence of it. They rip out the butthole, and they suck out the blood and the internal organs that they like to eat the most. The only thing that's left is the intestines, with, because there's garbage inside the intestines, so but they eat all the nice internal organs, lungs, heart, liver, stuff like that. And they do it with that long tongue that they have. It can just wrap around them, and then they pull it and suck it right out the butthole. And I'm not kidding you guys. I am an eyewitness to the destruction that they did to my goats, and that was in last January, I believe. December or January. We have so much rain now. We have more rain now than we've ever had in 10 years that I've been here. Boots on the ground in the Philippines, in this area of northwestern Mindanao. That it rains way more than in previous years. And I think that's going on throughout the entire earth now. There's way more raining and flooding going on in almost all regions of the world. But anyways, that's it for this little video. I love you guys. Take care, and get out in the wilderness. That's the best place for the heart and the soul that you can think of to give you a peace. So I'm going to get to work here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.